No, Jason Williams, the white boy. He was was he on Sacramento, I think it was.
I was thinking Kurt Rambis. I'm sorry.
Oh, he might have been on the Kings or something like that. But no, it was a little white boy, Jason Williams. Y'all help me out in the chat room. Awesome. He took a lot of Magic's old moves. Allen Iverson was breaking ankles. Dude, I never saw him play in person, but man, that dude, I mean, he go up against the best of him and didn't give a damn. And he a Gemini, so he got an extra point. But you know, it was that that was the era that we grew up in. So it's hard to accept. It's hard to watch a game. You know, I don't see that shit no more, man. You know, it's hard for me to watch a basketball game. I'm expecting Showtime. I'm expecting something. I don't see it. It's like, you know, it's cool. You get a couple of dunks from time to time, but I think a lot of these white chocolate. Thank you, Martin. I think a lot of the guys, they remind me of that show with Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000. Everybody playing for the video game. They're not trying to play for that, you know, that superstar status. You know, Vince, what's the name? Vince Carter. You know, them dudes, man, they was trying to do some shit that Superman couldn't do. You know, that was a whole nother era. I don't see LeBron.
That Detroit Pistons team, there's nobody that can hang with them today, dog.
Dude, basketball. Everything was more interesting back in the day, dude. I'm sorry. Everything was more interesting. You know, I subscribe to a couple of the fight groups on Facebook. Man, you come in and see Tommy Hearns and Hagler get to tussling and Roberto Duran and Hagler and it was four of them, man. Four dudes in that middleweight category. All them motherfuckers was bad, okay? They wasn't taking no different, huh? Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, and I'm missing somebody. Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, and Tommy Hearns.
Tommy Hearns, tall guy, tall skinny dude.
Okay, and dude, all of them they were all built different, but they all had different kind of heart. Roberto, I saw a picture of him yesterday, in fact. It was a picture of him on Facebook. They were all hanging out with Larry Holmes. I didn't know Roberto Duran was that short. He's a short son of a gun, man. He was little compared to even Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray might be about my height, a little bit short. I think he's like 5'8", 5'9". I'm 6 feet, but you can see the difference in the size. And Tommy Hearns is like 6'2". Okay, he's string bean with long arms. Marvin Hagler was a tough son of a bitch. Okay, and it was just a different era, man. It wasn't no going to get no popcorn, come back to fight over shit, or you have a fight for 12. Back then, they was fighting 15 rounds for a while. Then they cut it down to 12. Wasn't no having a fight for 15 or 12 rounds, putting on some shades and going to the after party. That bullshit was not happening. The party was in the ER, okay? You might have won the fight and still got to get a blood transfusion or some shit, okay? You couldn't tell who won the fight by the bruises. There wasn't none of that running around the ring, boxing shit. We fight, motherfucker. It's a different game. Same thing with basketball. Basketball. Good looking.
Thank you, Hologram MC. He said Tommy Hearns was an effing nightmare. Hearns was the man. I'm going back and watching all those in hindsight. That was such a fun time, man. Did you watch that No Mas fight? Everyone, that's probably the biggest one.
Hell
Roberto
yeah.
Duran. Oh, man.
Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard with the No Mas fight. I tell you what was the funniest fight I saw, though, was when Marvin Hagler and Hearns got into it, and Hearns was trying to run out the ring. That motherfucker hit his bicycle real time. Hey, nigga, hold on.
That's a classic scene, yeah.
Tommy Hearns was like, hey, he had to get on his bicycle real quick, get away from homeboy. He was putting hands on him, for real. Yeah, those were the good old days, man.
Yes. Sim Radio says, wasn't there a guy named Jack Johnson who fought 30-something rounds? Yeah, back in the day, early 1900s. They go 30, 50 rounds, man. Yeah. So Jack Sullivan's and all those guys, they stand like this.
Yeah, they stand like this right here. Okay, that's they shit right here. Yeah, Jack Johnson, they fought like 30 something rounds, and that was just his fight. fighting 35, 40 rounds wasn't shit back in the day. You fought until somebody couldn't get up no more. Wasn't no bell, wasn't no technical knockout, wasn't none of that bullshit. I remember one thing I do remember about that era. What's that dude's name? There's a brother. Every time he got in the ring, it was always some bullshit. He was a referee. Was it Richard Steele? No, Richard Steele was a little white boy.
Tall black dude?
Tall black dude. Huh? Brother.
Wasn't it like an army guy, or he would always salute or something? Am I thinking the same guy?
Might be. But this one brother, he was every time it was a Don King fight and he was refereeing, it'd always be some bullshit. Don King had wrestling just one step above WWE wrestling. Okay. Richard Steele. There you go. Boy, hologram MC, much love to you. Richard Steele. When Richard Steele was the referee and Don King was the promoter, Negro, bet on the bullshit. Bet your money on the bullshit. Technical knockout? Technical draw? What the hell is a technical draw? Some shit that nobody ever, all right. And the fight wasn't even finished. What the fuck what you doing? Technical draw. Huh? Come on, man. They did that shit. That was some gangster shit. Y'all didn't even see it. Y'all was some gangster shit.
Damn. Good old days, man. Good old days. We're halfway through the show, so let me remind everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already, and please hit that subscribe button if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear. You are tuned into N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo. That is Lonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Do your Google search, go down that rabbit hole, and definitely check out his documentary that just was released a couple of weeks back. It's Eve After Dark on Amazon Prime, and only $1.99 to watch. It's a great trip down memory lane, especially if you're a real hip hop fan. Let's talk about some. You have anything else to say before we move on, Lon?
Go ahead, Doc. Do you think?
All right, cool. Let's talk about a few things, man. The STEM Radio brought up a question last week, and I purposely copied and pasted it. Let's talk some funny Lonzo stories. STEM Radio brought up 3 stories that are his favorite stories. So let's start with one that I don't know any of these just by this. I'm hoping you do, but the chicken story.
Oh, my brother, the chicken.
Tell us the chicken story. I don't think I remember.
We was kids, man. We lived in the county of LA, and the county of LA had different rules from the city of LA. And my dad being from Mississippi, my mom being from Louisiana, we had like a little farm in our backyard. We had a big ass lot. The house wasn't that big. House only 900 square feet, whole pad. But we had a big ass lot. And my old man, behind the house, he had all kind of gardens and stuff. We also had a chicken coop. And there was a spot right on Central and right across Imperial Highway. We would go down and buy what they call them, biddies, baby chickens. And it might cost $2 a dozen. Whole bunch of them for like $2 or $3 back in the day. And my brother, he had a habit of naming these motherfuckers, right? He'd name them and play with them. Cause they baby birds, they put some food, feed in your hand, they eat at your hand and shit. And my brother was playing with them. He had a couple of them. He just liked a whole lot. My old man told him, hey man, don't fall in love with him. One day he gonna be breakfast or dinner. Don't fall in love with him one day. Oh, daddy, woo, 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 woo. So it got down to it. We even killed everything in the chicken coop. It's just one chicken's time to go. And man, my brother, he was outside. My old man, what he would do, he would grab the chicken by the head and wring the neck and pop it. Okay, the head would still be in his hand, blinking and everything, eyes blinking like a motherfucker, but the chicken would still be alive. And this particular day, man, this chicken took off running, and my brother was out in the backyard, and my brother was being chased by a chicken with no head around the backyard. He hollering and screaming the whole guy. Oh, he hollering. My daddy got the chicken head in his hand. My brother is running and screaming. This chicken ain't got no head around the fence about 4 or 5 times till the chicken finally died. Man, my brother was traumatized like a motherfucker. That's no bullshit.
I remember that. That's hilarious. That is fucking hilarious. Oh, man. All right, the next one, Lonzo, is